Hello, everybody. It's always hard to. Here we go. That camera right
Hey.
there. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rob and Rob Show, music commentary from your favorite Robs. I am Rob White.
And I'm Rob Segovia.
How you doing, Rob? Doing great.
I'm pretty good. Just got off of Live at 5. I had to produce and anchor. That was interesting,
Busy
but
man.
it worked because, Rob. But
That's Rob. You had a good week?
yeah, it was a good week. How about you?
I had a pretty solid week.
That's good.
Like, we got the small talk out the way right there.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to the Rob and Rob Show. Again, music commentary from your favorite Robs. We're going to get into our albums of the week, song of the week, and then we'll go into our main segments, which include our favorite. Oh, you can go ahead and say
I
it.
didn't know if you were transitioning to me.
You know, go ahead.
All right, we got our anticipated albums of late 2018, early 2019, and then we're going to get into some of our favorite albums of 2018.
Sounds like a plan. You want to kick us off with album of the week?
Okay, yeah. For myself, I picked The Transition by Packy. Not a lot of people know him. He's from East Lansing, Michigan. And, he's awesome. I mean, he played basketball at Michigan State, and now he's a full-time rapper. He moved to Los Angeles, and he started his career with a couple mixtapes about that life and Familiar with Floss, and then The Sunroom, and he put all of his songs from that onto The Transition, and that's what this album is. A lot of great songs. The Campaign is one of my favorites from that. I used to play it all the time back in like 2012, 2013. I would watch this YouTuber called Nobody Epic, and he was a part of this bigger crew, and he put me onto a lot of Packy's songs, and The Transition is a great album to get into him, and then for more albums in the future, Mad Lifey is another one, and The Parlay. Those are great albums.
Wow.
So
You said you don't want to put me on. Well, not put me on because I haven't really checked out his music, but Packy, didn't you say you met him before or something like that, or had a couple exchanges with him?
yeah, we had a few exchanges on YouTube. I would comment on his videos, and this was back when he didn't have that many views. I like to get familiar with artists before they get big. That's my big thing. I'm not a hipster.
Getting your hipster
maybe
bag
I am.
right now.
No, I am. And he's a great guy. And then he came down for a show in Chicago, and I got to stay after and meet him because there were only like 20 people there.
Hey, nice.
And now he sells out shows and does nationwide tours, so it's awesome.
Right. That's how I feel about The Weeknd being on top of, or being one of the first fans to really like his music, and now he's one of the biggest superstars on the planet. So it's always a good feeling to be that hipster, a little bit, just a little bit. So good pick. All right, for my album of the week, it goes to Tory Lanez and his Chicks Tape 4. Now this, I'm not a huge Tory Lanez fan until I listened to this. This is where he transitioned into his more 90s homage type music, because every song on this mixtape is a sample or a rendition from a classic 90s song or 90s R&B song from like Usher and Genuine and I'm blanking on my R&B artist at the time, but and it's great. He has great vocals and stuff like that. From Toronto too.
I remember you showed me his music and then this mixtape in particular. And actually, fun fact, Tory Lanez actually featured on one of Packy's songs off of Same Difference. It's Slide.
Wow.
Yeah.
Little crisscross right there, unintentionally. I like
Unintentional.
it. But yeah, Tory Lanez, he's a good vocalist. He's from, like I said, from Toronto. Isn't affiliated with Drake, which is kind of rare if you're an artist from Toronto who's in the hip hop and R&B world. But he kind of does want to separate himself from Drake, kind of make his own, wave in the music area in Toronto. And this is probably where he got most of his most of his fans from. He probably got some friends from it too.
Yeah.
But it's incredible. If you like 90s R&B and you like this new wave of R&B, then you'll probably like the Chicks Tape 4. And I heard from inside source, I don't know how inside it is, probably just Google or whatever, but he's making another one. And I don't know if it's gonna be the same 90s, early 2000s R&B samples, but other than that, I am super excited.
That'd be cool if he, flipped some 80s songs or,
or like some soul or like some, I keep blanking on names right now, but
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Whitney Houston, that's a good one.
Yeah.
as far as old music goes. But yeah, all right, that was my album of the week. You want to get into your song of the week? Or songs, I'd rather say.
I have 3 songs. Adult Swim by Jon Bellion. I talked about this earlier this week on The Real Deal, and it was awesome trying to dissect some of these songs because a lot of the songs on this project are more, in his element. He's less going for the mainstream, and he's more trying to find a new sound. He's always about the creativity, and we talked about this multiple times where Jon Bellion would make different beats to the songs and then he would show it on YouTube, like the making of a certain song, and I showed you the Superman, the Gift and the Curse, and the way he made his vocals sound like a guitar is something that will always stick with me. And with this album, he doesn't do too much experimentation with different sounds because he obviously has enough money to, form his musical numbers the way he wants to. Right. He can hire whoever he wants.
Exactly.
Especially after his success on All Time Low, which has like 300 million streams. We don't want to get into that though.
Wow.
This is what we're talking about.
Drop that numbers real quick.
This is what we're talking about. Adult Swim by Jon Bellion. I just showed you before the show.
Yeah,
and
I really like it.
It has sweet beat switches throughout the song, and it sounds like a radio tuner the way it switches between the different sections.
Yeah, like an old radio, like where you have to physically turn the dial.
Yeah, and it turns the dial into a different part of the song, and that's what I really like about that. I want to get into Off D's by JID featuring J. Cole.
Yeah, JID.
Awesome song. JID, I'm very excited for his next project. We'll talk about that later. But Off D's is a lyrical lesson to all of the up-and-coming new wave of rappers that JID is really on top. And to get, J. Cole as one of his features and to co-sign his work is really something that displays, how well JID has done in the game so far. And then my last pick is LMF by Smino. Sweet.
Listen to this before the show too.
Yeah, we listened to all these songs before the show. Yeah. This one is a sweet little melody, and it's very catchy. Those are my picks for songs of the week.
Nice, those are really good. I'm gonna get into mine, and it goes to our guy Earl Sweatshirt with his new single "Nowhere to Go," like the number 2. And this is like a very melodic, not really. I mean, it does have his lyrical qualities that he always puts on, but this is it makes you want to anticipate an album that he may be dropping, but I don't know, it's been like 3 or 4 years since his last, about 3 years since his last, I don't think we can say the title.
Yeah, I don't like
expletive, and I don't go outside. Yeah. It's been 3 years since that, and now he's kind of experimenting with different sounds, just like Jon Bellion, trying to find his, I guess, new wave of sound since his 3-year period that he wasn't making music, or wasn't releasing music rather. And it's very catchy. Like, it puts me in my feelings, puts me in my bag. Like, oh man, I'm just itching for new Earl Sweatshirt music.
I played that song and I had to check Spotify again. I'm like, did you play the right song, Spotify? Because this does not sound like Earl Sweatshirt.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. And
he can hear maturity in this song. Just on this song alone.
Yeah. When I was really into Earl Sweatshirt was when he was back on Odd Future, and he was releasing his mixtape Earl, and then he released Doris. Those are like prime projects, and he's giving all of his lyricism, and he still does it on this song, but it's just in a different way. And I like his artistry and the way he's able to change his style.
Yeah, me too. So I am super excited for what Earl Sweatshirt has, that he might be working on a new album or something like that. Hopefully he is, so let's pray that he does. So those were songs and albums of the week. Now let's get into our main segments. You want to start with anticipated albums, and then we'll work our way into our favorite albums of the year?
Yeah, so first up, I want to shout out Maggie Rogers, Heard It in a Past Life. One of the first songs I listened to is Alaska by her, and it came after the whole Pharrell video where he was at NYU, and he was, doing like a class session because you know he's a big artist and he wants to show some of the new music.
He was like friends
engineers.
with the professor or something like that. Yeah.
Right, you saw the video? And then Maggie Rogers showed her song and he loved it. He vibed with it, he signed her. He brought her on this whole tour around like all these different radio stations showing off her music. And she's getting ready to release an album. She had an EP last year or earlier this year. And you know, that had Alaska on it, and it had different songs on it as well. But I'm ready to hear like a whole LP from Maggie.
Yeah,
so that'd be really good. And then just to finish off, my anticipated albums, I'm always anticipating a Brockhampton album. They have a new trilogy that they're about to release. Iridescence was the first one from that, and they definitely have a second one coming up.
Most definitely.
And then, you know, you always got to throw in Frank Ocean.
Always.
Now, tell me a fun fact about Frank Ocean. You just told me it before the show.
A fun fact about Frank Ocean. Well, he just released his Instagram page. It was private for a while. Now it's public because he is a very cryptic and private person. But now his Instagram's public for all of his fans to go bombard with questions about new music and stuff like that. And the pictures that he posts are really interesting. Again, very, like, can't really decipher what he's trying to mean in his captions or the pictures he takes, but they're very artistic, and that is something, if you're a fan of Frank Ocean, then I think you need to go follow his Instagram page called Blonded. So Blonde, ED, like Blonded. And yeah.
At him,
at Frank Ocean. Hey, where's your music at? Yeah. But all right, those are good things to start us off with. I'm going to get into, well, I did put down Anderson .Paak's Oxnard, but it actually came out today. We have not listened to the album just yet, but we heard Tense.
Yes, with Kendrick Lamar.
And that's very great. Anderson .Paak, he's a rapper and singer, but he's very instrumental. Like, he plays drums, piano, he sings. So Oxnard was something I was really looking forward to. It's part of his like beach theme album collection. And I believe it has 14 tracks, if I'm not mistaken. You're looking it up.
Yeah, I mean, the different features he has on this. He has Pusha T on a song, Snoop Dogg, J. Cole, Q-Tip, BJ the Chicago Kid. Man, I mean, and then Kendrick, of course, and Dr. Dre.
Wow.
You know, that's going to be awesome. I'm ready for that too.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, that was anticipated, but now I guess it's not because we already got it. So go listen to it if you haven't already, if you're a fan of Anderson .Paak. But we already touched on this, but JID's DiCaprio 2 is coming out, I believe, next week or the week after, something like that.
Yeah, it's very close. Man,
and we're huge fans of JID. The Never Story was one of our, actually, did it come out this year? No, it came out last year.
It came out last year.
Yeah. Man, he's probably the next hip hop artist to really be on the level of a Kendrick and J. Cole as far as lyrical talent.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for this album. He actually dropped the features on the album today. It was BJ the Chicago Kid, of course J. Cole, and LMA.
Okay. Yeah.
And I can't remember the other person, but I'm very excited for that. And yeah, JID, DiCaprio 2 is second anticipated album. And then I will get into our guy, we can both talk about this, Kanye. Kanye West is supposed to be dropping Yandhi next week, but after all the stuff he's been saying and doing in the past months, actually this whole year rather, I don't know what to expect with Yandhi. What's your thoughts on Yandhi? Because I still think it's going to be a good album because, I mean, it's Kanye West, of course. But I don't know. Like, where do you think he's going to take it?
I know he's moving more towards an African sound. He did say he wanted to go back home. I feel like he might incorporate some of that.
He's actually in Uganda, I think, doing the production right now.
Well, there you go. And he'll definitely be sampling some of the different songs, you know, from the area,
like tribal music and stuff like that.
Right, and then also trying to get some of those instrumentals, you know, from the area,
right.
And that'll be really cool. I'm not sure where he's gonna go with this, especially after the last song that he releases, "I Love It." So
yeah,
you know,
low pump.
You have Ye and Kids See Ghosts up here, and then you have "I Love It," which, you know, it's really catchy, but I don't think it's something that Gandhi would promote.
That's
but maybe Yandhi would. He would definitely promote, you know, "I Love It." But you know, I'm excited for it. I'm still waiting for TurboGrafx 16.
We've been waiting for that since 2016.
Yes, in maybe 19.
Maybe
hopefully.
19, hopefully.
Kanye?
Yeah, please, Kanye. And please, yeah,
just stick to music, you know.
Stick to music, yeah.
That's
please, yeah, for our sake. Because we're big fans. But you're on the edge of me not being the biggest fan of you no more. So please, just stick to music. All right. So, yeah, that was a good discussion with Kanye. Do you want to get into the other picks that we have right here?
Yeah, I went ahead and put Culture 3 down by Migos because it's Migos.
Man.
Did you see them on James Corden?
Yeah, the carpool.
Yeah.
Man, and their ad-libs.
Skirt.
Skirt.
Oh, man.
You know, they brought out like a piano for like little kids, and then James Corden brought out like a slide whistle to like. I'm not doing it justice by describing it like this, but it was funny. Like if you watched it, even though it don't sound funny, me describing it right now.
We should have our own carpool karaoke.
We should. We haven't carpooled in a while actually.
Yeah.
Somebody went and got a car out of nowhere and decided not to ride with me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta do big boy things.
Yeah, we'll do it after Thanksgiving. How about that? Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Migos. Yeah, Migos is always exciting. They are, in my opinion, 2 for 2 as far as the Culture series goes. I don't know if
It shouldn't be as long.
That's the thing I was gonna get into. Culture 1 was, I believe, it wasn't 20 tracks.
It was like 12 or 13.
Yeah, that's my ideal like album length. But Culture 2 was, I think, like 22, 24, something like that. And for Migos, not to diss them, but most of their songs sound very similar. So like one after the other, even though they're good. Yeah, flipping the, yeah.
Yeah.
You can only get so much of that.
You can only get so many flipping and whipping.
Flipping and whipping, only get a few of those. Not 22 songs worth.
Yeah, no.
You only get a couple, and mama. But yeah, I'm still excited to hear Culture 3, even though we just bashed Culture 2 kind of like that. But we still liked it.
Yeah.
Every time we go into like a party setting, we like hearing songs from Culture 2.
To get you hype. What I do want to hear is more Migos songs from their mixtape days.
Yes.
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana. And also, we didn't touch on this, but each Migo member has released a solo project.
Really?
Yeah.
Each one. I knew Quavo just did. It was a flop.
Quavo's was a flop. Takeoff just did. I didn't listen to it, and I didn't hear any reviews about it. Not sure. I'm pretty sure that Offset is going to release a full-length project.
Offsets will be the best.
I think that's what it is. Well, I don't know. I thought Quavo was going to be the best, but I listened to it. And
Quavo's the biggest member, but he's not the best. He's literally the worst.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Objectively.
But even though we keep bashing them, we're still anticipating Culture 3, and I hope you guys are too.
Yeah.
So. All right. And is this finally? No, we still got 2 more. Drake said he's releasing an album early 2019, which I think is a smart move on his end because I don't think he's ever even plateaued in his career. He's always gone nothing but up. And as far as success.
Yeah, I feel like it's a mountain.
A mountain?
Yeah, so like he goes with So Far Gone. That's a peak.
Oh, okay.
And then
all right, we're gonna do this.
Thank Me Later. Take Care.
Yeah.
Nothing Was the Same. Low Peak Down. And then Shot Up with If You're Reading This Is Too Late. And then All the Way Down with Views. I didn't like it. Rob loves it, but
love Views.
And then
and then Scorpion or More Life.
More Life. Oh yeah, that's all the way down. That's a valley.
More Life.
And then shot back up with Scorpion because I like what he did with it. Having 2 sides, you can always listen to something on it.
Again, I think if artists sorry, my immature self, if they do a long album, then split it in half. Like this section is going to be about this material, and then the other half is going to be about this material. That's what Drake did, and it didn't feel long to me when he did that. I'm like, all right, that's enough of the rap. Now he's going to get into the singing part. Like 2 separate albums.
And he showed that he's very versatile, and he can do both. And we already knew that, but the fact that he can release a project that incorporates both.
Right. And the fact that he can make hits, like, of course, there's like that's on Astro World.
Nonstop.
Nonstop is it on Scorpion?
Yeah, it's on side A.
All right, yeah, side A. But then on side B, you have Nice for What and
In My Feelings.
In My Feelings.
Yeah.
No, Nice for What's on side A. In My Feelings is
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Nice for what should be on side B. If that was on side B might be album of the year.
Right. But I liked Finesse. That's probably my favorite on side B. But that just shows the power of Drake. He can successfully make hits from rapping and successfully make hits from singing. Even though he's not the best quote-unquote singer as far as his voice, he's actually got better, I can hear, from Scorpion. But still, the fact that he can do that for like 10 plus years now and hasn't really like dipped as far as like numbers go, like he's still selling out arenas, I think even more now. Bunch of production, like, man, nowhere to go but up for Drake. So releasing an album in 2019, I think is the best move for him. Still, like, it won't hurt him at all.
And then Jaden Smith.
Jaden Smith.
The Sunsets tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We liked his last album.
Very good. Sire.
Very good.
Awesome.
I really liked it.
And I was really surprised with how great that album was, especially with his awkward poetry that he did on certain albums.
The fake deep tweets that he did, like kind of still does a little bit, but
Blue, that section Blue, off of Sire is
the BLUE,
amazing.
Like, wow, yeah. That, and then Fallen, and then of course Icon.
Yeah, Icon.
I mean, everybody loves Icon.
And Watch Me. Watch me do this. Yeah, so that was really good.
Yeah, no, and for this particular album, he said he's gonna kind of go back to his old, like, he said the Cool Tapes, like a Cool Tape Stories is kind of it's part of the title of this new project, but it's an ode to his other projects called the Cool Tapes when he was like 14, 15 and making music back then. So I don't know if he's gonna cater to his old audience back then and kind of transition that sound into his more mature sound right now. I'm not sure. Actually, you can't really anticipate what Jaden Smith is gonna put out because he is kind of an oddball. He did put out that song Goku. Have you heard it yet?
Yes.
And I really like it. So if it's an album of just that and maybe a couple like somber songs for like 14 tracks, I can deal with that. That's a solid album for me. Yeah. So
you want to go through some of our favorite albums?
Yes,
quickly?
We can go into favorite albums of 2018. 2018 granted us with a bunch of great music. I think pretty much everybody dropped an album this year.
Yeah.
Besides like maybe 3 or 4. I mean, like Frank Ocean didn't and Big Sean didn't. And that's pretty much it. I mean, everybody dropped an album. But I couldn't put all of my favorite albums on here. I just put some of them because there's too many to put on here. But I'm gonna start off with honorable mentions first. First thing I'd like to shout out is Love Is Everything by The Carters. Again, not the biggest Jay-Z and Beyonce fan, but this album was really good in my opinion. Another honorable mention I'd like to shout out is Ye by Kanye West. Again, I'm a huge Kanye West fan. And I like Ye. It's not my favorite Kanye West album. To be honest, it might be one of my least favorite Kanye West albums. But it's still a great album. I think that just puts in perspective how great Kanye West is. Even in my opinion, what is his not that great sounding album still sounds great, if that makes sense.
In comparison to other artists.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for clarifying that.
I agree.
Thank you, my boy. All right, next for me would be, for honorable mention still, is The Carter 5 by Lil Wayne. I'd like to put this on one of my top albums of the year, but to be honest, the only time I'm listening to it is when I'm working out or something like that. And I don't really if I'm like at my apartment or at my parents' house or just in the car, I'm not really going back to Lil Wayne's album. But I am going back to it every time I work out or every time I'm like active and want to get into that mood, or like if I want to dance or something like that, I do go back to Lil Wayne. It was a great project still. And for my last one, for honorable mention, it would be FM by Vince Staples, which just came out about a week or 2 ago. And it's really good. Like, I'm a big Vince Staples fan, and this is not a complete opposite of his last album, Big Fish Theory, because Big Fish Theory sounded more electronic, kind of 80s break-in music a little bit. But this one is themed around Big Boy's Neighborhood, the radio show, and he kind of puts it like a radio format, hence the title FM. Still talks about Long Beach, still talks about his gang banging up roots and stuff like that, and it's very good lyrical content and all. So those go for my honorable mentions. You want to start with your honorable mentions, then I'll get into mine?
Yeah,
favorites? Okay.
that sounds good. For me, my honorable mentions are Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B. I was going to put it in my top albums,
girl,
but some of these other albums kind of pushed it out.
Yeah.
Iridescence from Brockhampton, not their strongest, but still
good.
a decent project that everyone should check out just for its creativity.
Right.
Care for Me by Saba, I reviewed it earlier in the year, and same goes for November by Sir, so you can check those out on the Real Deal page if you want the full scope. But Saba and Sir, definitely great artists coming up. Saba, really great rapper from Chicago. I met him a few times because he's from Chicago. I know a lot of Chicago rappers.
Robert's meeting all the Chicago rappers. You didn't meet me. Help me meet other ones.
Yeah.
I always meet people. Always put me on.
Yeah, I'll drop something soon. And then November by Sir. Sir.
Very good album. Very good album.
Really good TDE member.
Yes.
And one of the rising stars on that label.
Right.
So
cool. All right, now let's get into our official favorite albums of 2018, set in stone. These aren't albums that we think are gonna win a Grammy, or it might win a Grammy, but these are the ones that we always just come back to and just always have it in our rotation when we listen to music. And this is not in any particular order except for the last one I'm gonna mention. So I'm gonna start off with, we already talked about it, so I'm not gonna touch on it that much, but Drake, Scorpion, I always come back to. Very great album, top to bottom, in my opinion. There's some songs that are just okay, but there's not a bad song on this album, even though it's very long, 2 sides. Still, each side is great, rapping and singing, right? Fantastic. Actually, you want to go back and forth until we get to our number ones?
That sounds good. Okay, so I'll start off with XXXTentacion, question mark album. I'm not going to support a lot of the things that he did, but this album, I go back to it a lot because it has a lot of tracks that I still vibe with, and I understand where he's coming from.
Right.
Very sentimental. I get in my feelings like hardcore.
Yeah.
Sad is one of those songs from the albums, from that album. That the video on YouTube is so cool to watch. He's fighting himself because he knows that his demons are what he has to beat, and that's just one example of the many songs on that album that really have more of a message than just surface level. And rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
All right. Nice pick. All right, next up would be probably Pusha T's Daytona. It's something I always go back to, whether I'm working out or I'm just in my house or on my way to class. I'm listening to Pusha T talking about him slinging dope in Virginia. His rapping is very good, and since Kanye produced all of the beats on this album, the beats are fantastic. And yeah, it's just something I always come to. I grew up a Pusha T fan, kinda. I didn't dislike him, but he wasn't an artist that I always try to look out for. But this album really kind of solidified him as one of my favorite rappers now. And yeah, Daytona. You like Daytona too, yeah?
Yeah, I love Daytona. All those albums that Ye produced and released. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll get into Twin Fantasy by Car Seat Headrest.
I've heard of
great indie rock band if you haven't heard of them. But something that really struck me is that they re-released this album. It's a reworking of an album that already exists, and I think a lot of artists could benefit from that, especially if they had a strong work to begin with, but they didn't have the materials that could really push that material forward. And so Car Seat Headrest definitely did that with Twin Fantasy. Stop Smoking, We Love You is a great song. It's really short, but awesome sound and lyrics. Beach Life and Death is another good one off of that. And if you want to get into them a little more, you start off with Teens of Style and Teens of Denial, albums that featured songs on different video games. If you play any of the baseball, MLB The Show games, they're on that. But yeah, definitely shout out to Car Seat Headrest.
Cool. I'm gonna have to check them out. All right, next up is actually a fairly new artist, a new R&B artist, and it is Black, or most people say 6 Lack, but it's Black. Please believe me. East Atlanta Love Letter is his album, and it is very good, top to bottom R&B. Again, he's not the best vocalist compared to some of his peers like Division and The Weeknd, even Frank Ocean, but the material and the way he moves his voice through the background of the music and the 808s and all that, and the lyrics that he puts in this album are very, very good. It kind of surprised me, not gonna lie. Black has been out for maybe 2 years as far as mainstream success, and this is one of my favorites, like favorite R&B records of probably in the past 2 or 3 years, to be honest. Very somber, very dark, that's kind of the R&B I'm kind of into now. And I listen to probably every song top to bottom always, like on my way to school or whatever. My favorite tracks on this album are East Atlanta Love Letter and the last song, Stand. And there was one more, can't remember. Loaded Gun, that's what it was, I'm sorry. But yeah, that was one of my favorites of the years. You guys go check it out if you haven't already.
All right, so I'm going to kick it with number 3, Kids See Ghosts by Kids See Ghosts. Self-titled.
Who's on Kids See Ghosts, Rob, in case people don't know?
Oh, okay, so it's a collab between Kanye West and Kid Cudi, something that is, they've been working together for a long time. Kid Cudi actually helped a lot with the 2008 album 808s and Heartbreak by Kanye West.
And The Life of Pablo, too.
Life of Pablo, he had a lot of great features on that album with the hums, and then on Father Stretch My Hands Part 1. And then one of my favorite songs between them was Erase Me, which was off of the Man on the Moon Part 2. Yeah, so good songs to check out to get into their collaboration method before you get into Kids See Ghosts. Feel the Love features Pusha T, and then Free, which is Ghost Town Part 2, has Ty Dolla $ign. Ghost Town, best song off of Ye, and then they follow it up with the song off Kids See Ghosts, which is my favorite, and then Reborn is another one that I love. Cudi Montage is another one that features a lot of just Kid Cudi.
Actually, you mentioned every song except for my favorite, which is Fourth Dimension.
Oh. Fourth Dimension? Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
A lot of people like Fire, and I thought you were going to go with that. But
I like Fire, but Fourth Dimension I always go back to.
I gotcha.
All right, that's a good pick. And we're going to get into, all right, so this will probably be a tie for first because I have 2 and I can't decide what I like better. So I'm just going to combine them into one. It would be Travis Scott's Astroworld and The Weeknd's My Dear Melancholy. I'm starting with Travis Scott. Huge Travis Scott fan ever since he released Rodeo. This was back in 2015. And then he released The Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight. And now he released Astroworld, and it is one of the biggest rap albums of 2018. He'll probably get it nominated for a bunch of songs on there, especially Nonstop, or not Nonstop.
I'm blanking too.
Yeah, I always blank when I'm on here. But the one with Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, it's top to bottom. Again, he does some of his production. He has features from, of course, Drake, The Weeknd, Nav, and top to bottom is great. Like, if you like Travis Scott, this is probably the best he's ever performed sonically and lyrically. He kind of did a little bit of experimentation with his voice and with his music on this album that still kind of sounds like his past albums, but you can tell there's like a switch, but he did that switch perfectly, if that makes sense. And then for the other album, My Dear Melancholy by The Weeknd, I'm a huge Weeknd fan, like we discussed in the beginning of the episode. Back when I was like a freshman in high school, The Weeknd was someone I listened to like nonstop. The only artist I listened to for a long period of time, his album Trilogy, which again is 3 separate mixtapes that he put into one album, a triple album, as some people might say. And ever since then, I've been hooked. And this album goes back to his darker, more melancholy sounding albums, which made me become a fan of him. Like, again, I like his pop stuff, don't get me wrong, but this is this kind of music is what made me fall in love with his music. Yeah. And he did it phenomenally. It's only like 6 songs, but every song captured an emotion with me that I'll probably stick for the rest of my life. So, yeah, My Dear Melancholy by The Weeknd and Travis Scott's Astroworld have to be my favorite albums of 2018.
Sicko Mode was that song
Sicko Mode.
Sicko Mode and Nonstop are usually back to back in my playlist,
yeah,
so I get that.
And they're like on the same, kind of the same track list on both. Like they're about the 2nd or 3rd song on both.
Same level of intensity. Yeah, definitely. I'll get into my top 2 now.
Gotcha.
So second, I'm not going to give it the first spot because it's not like a full album, but Diary 1 by Clairo. Got to give it to my girl. Okay,
give
so
it to your girl.
Hello, Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
I like Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Boy of My Dreams, Forever, Pretty Girl, and How. 6 songs off of this, all
great.
hot.
Hot.
Fire. Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Fire. Okay? It's great.
I'll see what
Listen,
you said there.
listen to that. I mean, you'll fall in love if you listen to that album. And then I'm going to top it off with the Black Panther album. Because,
Black Panther.
Wakanda Forever. So the Black Panther album, great music
the
from
quick
Kendrick
search.
Lamar. Yeah, pulled it up really fast on Spotify, but it features a whole bunch of artists. And the thing about Kendrick Lamar, he gave his homeboys and homegirls
A chance to shine.
a chance to shine. He had Schoolboy Q get his bread with 2 Chainz and Saudi, and then gave Khalid and Sway Lee their time to shine.
I like how he incorporated. Sorry, I'm just looking off his laptop right here. I like how he incorporated Paranoid, SOB and SOB and RBE, new Oakland sounding or Oakland rappers. And he gave them a shine right here. Now they're kind of getting big just because of it.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry
then
to cut you off.
no, you're good. Big Shot with Travis Scott.
Big Shot's good.
And then Zachary had a lot of work on this album. Ab-Soul, he gave his Black Hippie guys some love. Ab-Soul, Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, and I guess that transitions into the J-Rock song that everyone knows, King's Dead.
King's Dead.
It's okay. And yeah, that's the review of my favorite albums of 2018. Great picks, sir.
Great picks. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hands are cold, but I'm gonna let that slide.
It's freezing.
All right, thank you for watching this episode of Rob and Rob Show. Right here, okay. Thank you for watching. This is our review of all the albums we like in 2018. Hope we granted you guys a new opportunity to listen to some of these artists that you may not have heard of. And yeah, anything to say before we close?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm Rob White.
I'm Rob Segovia.
All right, thank you for watching. See y'all next time.